Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on a Wednesday night. What if the Antichrist is already present on the ground somewhere, but just hasn't been revealed yet, just has not made himself public, behind the scenes, orchestrating this stuff we've seen last 2, 3 years? This bizarro, upside down, twilight zone of a world we've been in. What if? It makes me wonder. I mean, that question has been rolling around in this dog head, okay? What made me think about it is the collapse or of a couple of governments, one whole country, or maybe more than that. And that makes me also ask, who will be the next Sri Lanka? Now, put a pin in that. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. But first, the hits keep coming for sure. Came out today. Inflation rate going up higher than ever, of course. The United States is official 9.1 inflation rate is one of the highest among developed nations. As the government says the opposite. They think we are stupid, don't they? They really do. This is costing Americans, on average, an extra $500 a month. That's like a hefty car payment. $500 per month. Think about that. Think about that. I mean, that is preventing families. It's preventing people from doing the basics. Or even if you think you are doing well, it's going to prevent you from saving or trying to get ahead, pay something off. And if you're not that lucky to be in that position, pay the rent, buy some food for the family. It's unreal. We're not alone. UK, Europe, Australia, seems like the world, Canada, Mexico, all have high inflation rates right now. It is worldwide. Thus, my first question of this video. It is global, it seems. Sure is. Got a war going on, top it off. Energy, fuel, food. The three things we need. Control the food, control the fuel, control the energy, control people. Okay? Of course, you run the risk of becoming a Sri Lanka. Okay? 2021 to 2022, gasoline/fuel, 60%. 60% higher. And they're talking about the Fed raising the interest rate again another 0.75 or percentage point, or maybe a full point. It's going to keep going up. Prices are going to keep going up. Inflation is going to keep going, it seems. It looks like. And that's on all goods and services, just about. How do people pay for an emergency? How do you pay for your car breaking down? You don't. I think layoffs, I think unemployment is going to be the next big hit. I mean, like I said before, how can we not be at least in a recession right now? If you're an employee, you need to do all you can to keep your people happy, your bosses happy, your team happy. Do what you can, work it out. Sit down, make sure you're doing things. Because I think layoffs are coming. Companies, you're hearing about the big companies, Google, Facebook laying off people. The mortgage industry, they're laying off people. That's just a few. Depending on your industry, you could be somewhat recession proof. It depends. But I tell you, you really need to be careful. All right. Do what you can. Have a plan B and a plan C. Okay. If you get laid off tomorrow, what are you going to do? Okay. How are you going to pay for things? What is the backup plan? Or try to, at least think about that, work on it. All right. Sri Lanka. Who is going to be the next Sri Lanka? They're not alone. I mean, if you didn't hear, this past weekend especially is when it really hit. Tens of thousands of citizens in Sri Lanka just rushed and talk about a real insurrection. They occupy their capital, the residences of the president and the prime minister in their capital, all their office administration buildings, took it over. I mean, just bum rushed them. Amazing. But it's been building for a while. They used to be the darling of the WEF. Yes. They bought into this renewables and green energy. And, what happens is you end up with no fuel. You end up with miles long gas lines. You end up with no power. You end up with unemployment, food shortages, food prices going out of sky high. Sound familiar? Until the people are backed into a corner, they have nothing else to lose. I mean, they don't have a job. They can't feed the family, can't feed themselves, can't put fuel in the vehicle. What are you going to do? You're going to go somewhere. Go to the capital. That's what they did. So now you have chaos. You have true SHTF there. You have chaos. Probably going to have, at least, at best, you have people hungry. Can't imagine what it's like there right now. Who's next? Somebody in Europe? Ghana? South Africa? The Netherlands? They're not too happy. The farmers aren't too happy, from what I hear. It's like the government's trying to wreck the food supply. Sound familiar? Yeah. In Sri Lanka, the president fled the country. It was either today or yesterday. He said, "Peace out, brothers. I'm out." Left on a military jet. The finance minister, which is, I think, his brother, real brother, he gone too. He left. Peace out. They've been suffering for lack of power, like I said, fuel, food, stagflation, which is slow growth, plus high unemployment. Like I said, they're not alone. The UK, what in the world, the government? I mean, the prime minister is going to be gone or gone. 50 junior prime ministers, out. Peace out. Let me get out of here. What's coming down the pike? So governments are collapsing. Are we seeing the beginning of the end to nations? Traditional nations, okay? You want a real revolution? Take away the power, food, high crime, no fuel, high unemployment, or no employment, no employment. You got a recipe for it right there. Again, back to my original question about the AC, the Antichrist. Is that person or some other group not yet named or seen in public, pulling the strings, using groups, using governments, because it sure seems mighty coordinated, it's global, to collapse governments to pave the way for the one. Just a question. I mean, it's been rolling around in my head that will come in with a one world government, religion, currency, and economic currency. Perhaps so. As things just spiral out of control, and that could speed up, folks. It really could. May not, but it could. So we need to keep preparing and praying. Keep stacking the essentials. All right. So what you can, Miss Dawg and I have been talking about this. We have a tendency to just accumulate stuff. A lot of people do. You might, sell what you can now while people have some cash. And speaking of cash, keep some cash on hand. You didn't hear about a third of Canada was down as far as being able to perform electronic transactions this past weekend. Affected internet too, cell phone service for at least a day or two, I believe, if I remember right. Keep some cash out on hand, y'all. Okay, I'm getting to where I'm going to pay more with cash. It's kind of fun seeing the clerk when you hand cash or when you pay for something with cash. It's like, what is this? I've been doing it more. I may start doing it for just about everything that going to stores, to pay for things. Just be careful when you carry it. Have some protection, okay? Okay, I have an awesome verse, of course. You know I do. It is John 16, chapter 16, verse 33 says, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble. But take heart, I have overcome the world. The words of Jesus. Jesus is Lord. Amen. Let's take comfort in that. Let's keep that in mind. Let's be safe out there. Let's be vigilant. Take care of each other. God bless you. I'll see you soon.